Hello everybody and welcome to the Cone Racing League. I'm joined today by Rob.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Yeah, so here for round 7 at Baku. Plenty of front wings due to be replaced.
It's a dangerous circuit. Plenty of cars are going to get dragged back into the pit lane via. We got the tow truck on standby, that's for sure.
I know a few drivers saying they felt very off the pace. Sounds like Steiny very on the pace. A lot of the drivers. I think someone mentioned he was 1.2 seconds quicker in time trial, which is a terrifying difference.
Time trial is one of those, let's face it, there's nobody else on the track but yourself. You've not got to worry about anyone coming up behind you or smashing into you. The only thing you've got to worry about around Baku is the war.
Yeah. And actually Steiny, if he does have a good race, could grab hold of the championship lead. Currently 7 points behind Liam, who was not able to race last week at Zandvoort. So actually 3 drivers potentially could leave this round leading the championship, though it is very much a Liam versus Steiny. So that's the Ferrari and what car's Steiny in?
Steiny,
Williams Ronaldo.
I'm looking at tier 4 at the minute, so I'm not going to be any use there at the minute. Tier 2.
One of the shades of blue.
Steiny. He is one of the Alpines.
Oh, he's one of the Alpines, okay. So yeah, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on those. Now for those that missed it...
Oops, sorry, interrupted you. For those that missed it last week, now the Tier 2 boys, they were pretty amazing on track for the first half of the race. And then the second half of the race, they just went, you know what, we're done playing F1, let's play some Demolition Derby. And it just went nuts, especially with the 2 Ferraris crashing into each other. Right at the very end on the last lap. I don't know if you've seen the replay or the highlights yet, Jonathan?
No, I'm not usually... I'm not really someone who normally watches the streams.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'll usually stick on the Tier 1 stream once I'm done commentating this myself, but have not actually seen the race that I missed. Like, looking at the results, seeing a Ferrari P1, P12, I can imagine that the teammates weren't too happy with each other.
I couldn't tell you, unfortunately. I'm no longer part of Ferrari, so I race for Aston this season. I left before we decided to plough into each other, part of the Ferrari master plan.
Yeah, so Indian Jesus, first man to start his lap. We'll stay on board with him for this lap, see what he does, see how people compare to it. Believe one of the quicker drivers, though he is currently only P18 in the championship. Oh no, isn't it? He was on pad up in Tier 1 and then he switched to wheel and has kind of moved up one tier every season, pretty much. So he knows how to race.
Well, Jesus.
It's just a...
So I was battling with him, not this season, last season if I remember correctly, and we had a bit of a bump in France when I was up against him. But he's just going up around Castle at the moment, taking that pretty well. He's not done any I am stupid moments yet. Are we going to see any tonight? That's the question.
We will have to see, of course. Baku, with that big straight, plenty of overtaking opportunities, as long as you don't fluff the last corner, and also pretty high risk of safety cars, simply just due to how close the balls are to the edge of the track. As we say, we expect plenty of front wings to be knocked off today, and as a result, safety cars to follow through. The Tier 2, very good job this season of barely causing any safety cars.
No, the Tier 2 boys have been driving brilliantly, to be fair, but it's this track. It's one of those where you either love it or you hate it. But Indian Jesus sets us off with the first lap in qualifying as a 1 minute 40 dead, but Marconi not far behind it at a 1 minute 40.8, so only 700ths of a second between the two.
Yeah, although saying that's not too much, quite often you'll find the whole grid, or certainly 15 drivers split by a margin of only 7/10. So Cole Paradox, next man to the line, quite a way off his teammate there, 1.4 seconds. Almost to the 1,000th actually. Is Strauss puts it third fastest. Someone in.
Is Strauss in the Ferrari at the minute? No, he's in the Alfa Romeo. Well, it was a Ferrari driver. As you can tell, I'm very researched up. I'm just winging it as we go at the minute.
Yeah, Farrell
It's been a
second
long day.
fastest. Farrell 40.3, so it seems Indian Jesus, a very good first lap from him.
Oh, it's an amazing outlap. I say one of the tier 4 boys on Monday set a 1 minute 40 as their pole. And to be fair, it impressed quite everybody in that group. It was unheard of. 1 minute 40 down in tier 4.
But there we go, just on board there was Steiny, a 141.1, the current P2 in the championship. Certainly we're looking to improve that. So we wanted to beat Liam as much as possible, the reserve of Ennis P4 in that Haas. Who's the other reserve? It's Ennis and...
I believe 3-4 has jumped back in his Ferrari for today.
That. Yeah.
3-4 did retire from Ferrari for the remainder of the, but he seems to have been called back up. If you'd heard Scott's stream on Monday and obviously last Thursday with myself, he thought that Ferrari were getting better since he decided to retire. But is this all part of the Ferrari master plan to shove him back in there? Well, we're going to find out today.
Yeah, of course we will have to see Scott, not a slow man.
And we have our first DNF of the night. Sorry to interrupt, it is one of the AlphaTauri boys.
Is that a pit lane? Because I can't see any anywhere on track.
I can't see him, mate. He must have retired in the pits. He must have... Has he got a ban?
No, because you wouldn't have set a lap if he did. I was thinking the same, but... That is a very strange one.
Is it one of those tracks? Is it one of those where he's gone, you know what, I've got a lap in.
41.5.
I don't think I'm going to do any better.
Well, you wouldn't think so, but I guess we'll have to see. 3-4 next man to the line, a 1:42.7. Further back in the order, second slowest time thus far. There's still plenty more time left in the session. Not that we can see because there's a yellow flag in the way. There we go, 11 minutes on the clock. It's T-Griff.
He's used up all his ERS as well, so he's not going to get any help there by settling. So maybe he's going to be coming in this lap. There's another yellow flag on track.
Bit of Haas slipstream maybe. It was just Ennis going slow on the straight as T-Griff goes past him. Coal Paradox, I really hope no one saw my pit entry. Ooh, T-Griff, second fastest.
Oh, I think there was a crash in the pit lane.
Yep, that's seeming more and more likely now.
It's alright, Coal Paradox.
We didn't catch him on camera.
I had to retire the pit lane on Monday night. Me and Wooben crashed in the pit lane. He survived, I didn't. It was not a nice crash, unfortunately, but these things happen. Bit trading paint, bit of damage, we crack on, we look forward.
I do not believe anyone currently on a lap. 4-star soon to start one. I'm assuming 3-4's on an in lap and not pushing again for another one.
T-Griff and Waitsy are out. I don't know if they're on a lap or not.
Suspect both on in laps. We just saw T-Griff set a lap. 4-star now about to start one.
Let's jump on board with 4-star then. He's just literally started on us. So let's jump on board with him for a bit, shall we? Now 4-star is currently 7th in the championship. A good amount of points here could see him boosted up to 4th, if he won today's race anyway.
Yeah, 4-star. Well, I say been with Tier 2 for ages. He was there, he actually finished P2 in Tier 2's first ever season, which was the second season. And then Tier 2 got faster and he moved down to Tier 3. He won the Tier 3 championship, and now he's got faster again, and he's back up with the Tier 2 boys. Fighting in the top 10. I'm currently beating his teammate Waitsy, though we'll see if that can keep up for the whole season. P5 finish last week at Zandvoort. So yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, one of the drivers who's been around for ages is kind of one of those names who I'm so used to seeing there that it's almost weird at the races he does miss.
He's one of the CRL veterans, let's face it. He's here as old as the furniture is.
I think he's been here longer than me, and I've been here bloody ages, so...
What season did you start, Jonathan?
Season 2. My first race. I did 2 races with Tier 1, and then they were like, you're not very good at the moment, bump me down to Tier 2. Got better now, but, yeah.
Hey, they're all into us. Like Michael Schumacher said, to finish first you have to finish. It's all about getting better as time goes on.
Yeah, even if it is commentating, not the actual racing. They've done a couple of cone cups in my time. So yeah, here we go. 4-star to the line, 9th fastest, a 1:40.9 for the Red Bull driver.
Not a lot in it. Not a lot in it separating the top 9, all literally within 1/800th of a second within each other. So not much separating them at all.
Yeah. Well, Indian Jesus lap's still holding incredibly well. I mean, no one's yet beaten. We've had some close ones, but it's when you look. Oh, there we go.
Oh, commentator's curse, mate.
No idea how you say his name. How do you pronounce his name? Because I was just calling him Shoe a couple of weeks ago when he got the win.
Let's go with Shoe Striker. Shoe Striker. We'll go with Shoe.
Shoe.
We'll go with Shoe.
Shoe, the man who won at Monza 2 weeks ago, if I'm remembering correctly, is Captain Nick has had a retirement. And that does look to be in the pit lane, so that one may be a quali ban. I can check
all part of the Aston Martin master plan. So for those that obviously that do like to keep up to date, Aston Martin for the first few weeks of this tournament series, I should say, was dominating at top of the table. We've now dropped to position 3 in the constructors. Remember, all the points from across the 4 tiers are combined in CRL to make the Constructors' Championship. So every point really does count. At the moment, I'll just get it all up so we can see.
Yeah, here we go. Sorry to interrupt. Championship leader Liam only going 15th fastest. A 1:41.2.
Is this not one of his favourites?
We've
all got one per season, let's face it.
I can't remember. Oh right, Captain Nick saying he's did exactly the same as Cole Paradox. So it seems both of them sent it into the pit lane. It was Steiny, fastest lap from the man P2 in the championship.
0.59 off of a 140 flat. The pacey, because it's just getting quicker. So that track's starting to warm up. So maybe time to get out there now, boys, and try and start beating that record.
Yeah, 6 minutes left on the session. Seems quite likely we'll see a few drivers getting up into the 1:39s as DC there, I think, up into 8th, 1:40.5. The time's gradually inching further and further forward. The top 14 separated by less than a second. Credits to just how close Tier 2 is.
Oh yeah, it's great racing. I mean, it was my first race to commentate on properly with Scott last week. And then obviously I jumped back in on board when Scott had a bit of, I think it was a throat infection, I think Scott said. He had something wrong with his throat on Monday, so I jumped in after I crashed to take a bit of pressure off him. And yeah, commentating gig's not too bad, is it really?
Yeah, no, I mean, especially with CRL.
Commentation.
You can't go wrong, you show up every week, there's 20 drivers are remarkably close to each other. Huge amount of respect between them. Of course, occasionally there's a few hoo-has, but most of that's avoided.
Oh, that's racing, let's face
filtered by the stewards. Put on a great show. I mean, my only wish was a few more safety cars to bunch up the pack, make our job a bit easier. But it seems they're far too convinced to drive clean and well and keep that away from us. Club PR is second improvement, but still away
Tier 4,
off
mate, we had 4 safety cars in a row. No DRS until lap 12.
Oof. I guess we're hoping not for a repeat of that, and I think Liam's ran out of fuel on track, so Liam won't be improving this next lap. I think Club Yard's left himself time for another tyre change.
So Freefall's just gone round Castle Corner. He looks to have taken it a lot better than what he did on his first hot lap. He is now currently on his second hot lap. Let's see how well the Ferrari can put it round.
There we go.
Griff with a 139.6.
Wow, what a lap.
Setups in Discord, Griff. Let us know, because I've never set a 139 around this.
4/10 clear of the rest of the field, and the rest of the field's so bunched now. I mean, you look from Steiny down to Steiny down to Waitsy, so that's 2nd through 11th. So close. And that's half a second, just over. There's free fall across the line, 1.4 of improvement, but still away off the field.
Now maybe that's his plan. Maybe stay at the back of the grid, because avoid them early collisions in turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3. Wait for them all to hit the castle, and then make your way up through the grid. Could be a tactic.
Yeah, well, of course, there is always the risk for freefall. Well, not the risk, but just the possibility that his reserve was pretty last minute. He didn't do a whole lot of practice. When you do find with tier 2, a lot of the reserves are absolutely rapid, which always seems to surprise me because they're the ones you wouldn't expect to practice as much. But maybe this time, you know, it's not a track he's great at. He hasn't done much practice, as he didn't know how soon he would be racing. Oh, now Indian Jesus, purple middle sector.
He's on a belter here. I've been on board with him since he's just got round Castle, and it's been nothing but impressiveness.
Right, let's have a look. I think we might only see a second here. P3.
P3.
12 thousandths shy of Steiny's time, but not quite enough for the front row. It's T-Griff now into
Still
the
good
pits.
enough to be on the top 2 rows at least. I believe it's 4-star, which is the only one on a hot lap at the minute, and he's coming round onto the final straight.
He's on a 3-minute lap time according to me, so I think preparing to start a hot lap.
Oh, is he preparing?
That was about to set like what was it?
He does.
About to set a 3:39 or something. Not the best lap, yeah.
Well, he's in a Red Bull. That's all we need to know.
Well, Haas currently running up front.
It's good to see a Haas up front, to be fair. Any team other than Red Bull, in my opinion. Let's get any other team. Let's see it in the comments. We don't like Red Bull. Let's get that anti-Red Bull wagon going on.
I've always been a Ferrari man.
Oh, it's good to meet another Ferrari fan. But Griff has said enough. I think he's got the orders from Gunter to say enough's enough. I've got my paddle boat.
Yep.
Retire there at 1:39.
I mean, you can't get wrong with that lap, can you? It's just such a stretch ahead of everyone else.
Belter of a lap. And we thought the 1:40 was good. A 1:39. And he's got all the sixes as well, though. He's got 666. What more does he need?
He's got the intimidation factor, got the lap time. No one close.
Nobody's going to dare cross him now. But I tell you what, the 4-star, by the looks of it, looks like he's going to give it a good go. He has taken every corner so far perfectly, but he's not set any purples from what I can see.
Yeah, now is that Tobes ahead of him or Shu? It's one of the 2 McLarens. If it's Tobes, he might be able to sneak a cheeky slipstream in.
It's not Tobes, it's Shu.
Right, it is Shu, okay. Well, I guess, did you get slipstream from that far back? Possibly a little bit.
Possibly, maybe a little bit, not a big one, I don't think.
Here we go. What is he going to set? Is he going to improve at all? He does. He gets 1/10 jumps up to 13th, and then immediately gets knocked back down. Who was that? I think that was... Who was that? Was that McConey up to P8? It's Clerpiard now starting a lap and just trying to keep track of who's getting to the line.
Diney has also called it a day.
Greek Bill up to P13. Ennis has invalidated, and he's done it.
Well, the
just missed the flag.
Is being waved.
Ennis timed that one poorly.
Once they cross the line now, that is it. This will be what their times are. We've already got 5 people retired. Steiny retiring because he didn't think he could take on Griff by the looks of it. To be fair though, with the times that they're setting, it's going to be a mad dash for turn 1.
Yeah, Farrell P8, TC locking in P10 as Hobbsy. Was that Strauss? No, Strauss up to P2. Knocking Steiny down.
P2, separating.
The top 4
Literally
locked in.
4 milliseconds.
Oh, and Tobes is invalidated.
140 flat.
He was going a quarter of a second green, but Tobes invalidated, not able to improve.
Oh, we've got a spin and a crash with Shu. Shu's at some war in Azerbaijan.
Ah. Oh, and Waitsy's lost it into the pit lane. I guess done what the other 2 did earlier, though seemed more deliberate that time. Next man to the line then, 4-star, who does not currently seem to have a whole lot of time for improvement. No, he's going into the pit lane. Then behind him is that McConey, next man to the line. Again, another driver not going to improve. Then Clerpiard, well actually it'll be War Daddy, next man to the line, not improving, staying in P5. Clerpiard
with Greek
up
Bill
to
in a minute.
P17. Greek Bill I think will be the last man to the line. And he's not going to improve. You can see currently at 1:45 before he gets
coming
to
into
the
the
line. So there we go. That concludes the quali session. And hello, Indigo in the chat.
Quali.
Yes,
Very
such a huge
interesting
gap.
quali. Not Griff, the only one to break it out with the 140s and into the 139. But from down from P2 all the way down to P16, everybody else set a 1 minute 40 of some kind. Strauss literally 4 milliseconds off of a 140 flat.
Yeah, I mean those top ones so close. Yeah, going good, Indigo. Missed last week's commentary. I assume you're not too far away yourself from being tier 1. But yeah, no, it's those, how close the top times are. I mean, I know you've got T-Griff in the 36s, sorry, in the 39s by a long way, but it's the fact that from Strauss down to DC, less than 3/10 between 9 drivers. And here we go, you can see the gaps. T-Griff there on pole position's got the front row shared by Strauss. He was able to get close, but nowhere near close enough. Next row, Steiny and Indian Jesus, followed by War Daddy and Hobbsy. Shu and then Farrell. We saw Shu with his spin. Well, I didn't see the spin, but he saw the spin on his final attempt. And McConey and DC finishing out the top 10. Tobes waits the next row. Then Greek, Bill and Liam. Ennis the reserve and 4-star. Actually, who are? I've never checked who the other reserves were. But anyway, I'll continue on. Clerpiar and Freefall, who I know is one of the other two other two reserves. And then finished by Cole Paradox and Captain Nick, the two drivers who crashed into the pit lane. Oh, it's Knight is the other reserve. Okay.
Shu put in the comments in the paddock that he was going for a 139 but crashed it around 10:19.
It's just 39.3.
Quick racing from these boys tonight. I'm expecting a very, very good Grand Prix. I don't know about you, Jonathan, but I've got a feeling it's going to be too close to call.
Yeah, I mean, if Shu really is setting a 39.3 in quali, or was capable of doing so, he's going to fly off. But did he sorry, excuse me. Trying to remember how he's done in previous weeks.
Well, while they're just getting ready, getting up onto the, let's take a look, shall we? So in round 1, Shu.
Yeah, you gotta find it first, don't we?
I'm not actually looking at tier 3, so I'm looking at the wrong place anyway.
He won at Monza, which was round 5. Seem to remember that one was fairly convincing.
Well, Monza's hard to win on most days, so if he can win Monza, he's definitely not one.
I think that might be the only race he's done so far this season. So there might be the usual cries for, hang on, he's demolished us in 2 races, move him up to tier 1. That we will have to see. Drivers still choosing their setups, leaving each other plenty of time to choose what they want to work with. Not even half.
The tier 2 does that. I mean,
I know they're all meant to.
Hold down in tier 4. Set up, bang, done.
Because it used to be that way back in F1 2021, it used to be you could see who entered first and we'd like penalise the driver, and then come F1 22 you can't see, so it's kind of driver etiquette, give each other a chance, let the admins be the first one. And tier 2 for the most part seem to have that down.
That's the point I don't even bother pressing X now until I let the countdown go all the way down to 0. It's just safer that way.
Yeah, actually I'm just looking at the calendar now. Next week is Portimao, which for one also circuit,
wait.
But also sprint race.
Yeah, second sprint race of the season. It's going to be interesting. So quali will literally just be 1 lap for those watching at home, followed by a sprint race around Portimao, followed by 50%. So a lot of racing, more than quali next week.
Yeah, looking at the tyre split here, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers on the hards, so 12 will be on the mediums. And actually a split strategy between, who in my opinion are the 2 favourites, T-Griff and Shu. I mean, I'd have to give it to T-Griff just because he's got the advantage. Indigo, they're asking who I think is going to win. At the moment, I think T-Griff is going to be the one who gets this. Showed remarkable pace compared to the rest of the fields, and actually set the lap without having a mistake. There, he's got that front row. He's got Strauss as a bit of a shield to the drivers on mediums. But of course, it's Baku. Anything can happen.
Are we going to see any I am stupids? Is Castle going to get another victim?
It's almost certainly. We'll have to keep an eye on the
Ferraris.
Ferraris.
Tier 3 and 4. I don't think anyone actually ended up in the castle, to be fair. So it's been sat there patiently for at least 4 days waiting for these boys to go round.
Well, maybe the pit lane's taking over the job with
Oh, well.
Cole Paradox. Can't remember who the other one was. Captain Nick, I think.
Captain Nick was definitely one of them. And Nick, if you are watching, we need some points desperately for Aston Martin.
Yeah, Nick, there was actually a season where Nick was one of the front runners in Tier 2. I want to say it was Season 3, but it was him and Big Balls in the Ferrari. Because I specifically remember in Russia the two Ferraris had a bit of contact, and they both had to pit for front wing damage.
So that was before my time. I didn't join till Series 5.
Yeah,
Season 5 onwards.
Is Cone 3 yet? Cone is either very nearly 3 or has turned 3 in the last month or two.
I think it has turned 3 because when I joined, it was Series 5, which was the start of year 2, going into 3. I think.
Hang on a second. T-Griff has just been disqualified from the outlap. Now, if that is not a visual glitch, that means his tyres are not going to be too happy.
No, they're going to be cold on the launch.
Which will have Strauss and Steiny feeling a little bit better about their starts as the last of the drivers starting to pull.
And McConey's done the same as well. McConey's been disqualified, so he's going to be starting on cold tyres. Anyway, and Cole Paradox, as literally as I was about to say, is anybody else going to join the club? Cole Paradox does the exact same. And Cross Liam's done the same. So 4 boys in the cold tyres club as we start.
Right, then we'll have to keep an eye on Strauss.
It's lights out and away we go. I've always wanted to say that, so I understand now why Crofty enjoys saying that so much. And it looks like Griff has managed to keep a good lead despite starting on cold tyres. But there is bumps and there's bangs and there's a spin in turn 1.
And I think I saw a reset to track as well. That was Indian Jesus. I've also seen a bit of McLaren front wing there. Do not know if that was Tobes or Shoe suffering that damage. But already chaos. The Baku
turn 1 drama, like I said earlier. It's just such a mean circuit, considering that the majority of these corners are 90 degrees angles. Let's face it.
Yeah, already Farrell up 4 positions, Waitsy up 5 positions from where he started, and that's just other drivers falling miles down the grid. War Daddy had a bit of an issue. There's actually a battle at the moment between Freefall and Indian Jesus. Indian Jesus getting past that Ferrari driver.
Well, luckily no one's picked up a penalty yet for any severe collisions, corner cutting. Then again, it is hard to corner cut here in Baku unless you deliberately cut that corner that we've just gone past.
Yeah, the esports line. There's there we go.
Griff nearly
Steiny,
a second.
very deep there. Was on board with Steiny, went so deep into it, he actually hit the wall, managed to avoid getting any wing damage, but does now remain side by side with Steiny through that final turn onto the big straight, which has actually compromised his exit going side by side with them, meaning now heavily under threat from Waitsy after a slightly slow exit. Now Waitsy is deploying his ERS, he's hoping to get the move done here, but I think Steiny also doing the same, that gap closing. And we might even be on for a 3 wide here into turn 1. Steiny going for the inside on Farrell. Waitsy deciding, you know what, I'm not really in the mood for a 3 wide, let's not do anything too stupid. Going deep in this contact, Waitsy losing it a little bit on exit, luckily keeping his car out of the wall, keeping it pointing forward, but does move down to P6. Hobbsy taking advantage of that mistake.
The 2 McLaren boys keeping up tradition as last week. They didn't have a good innings out in the Netherlands, both being the first 2 to retire, are the first 2 to come into the pit, and they will be double stacking in the pit as well, which is going to put one of them at a disadvantage. It's not going to be Shu, he's already out. Tobes is literally just leaving, so not a good day for McLaren again.
Yeah, it seems when I said I saw a Ferrari front wing, I very well may have seen 2 Ferrari front wings. The fact both of them choosing to pit on lap 1, but already the 2 leaders with a 1.6 and 1.4 second gap. So Steiny 3 seconds down from those front 2 runners. Or from T-Griff up front, I should say, not from both of them. Very, very strong start from those 2. And now T-Griff's tyres have caught up.
Sorry, I was just on board there watching everyone go around Castle Corner, hoping to see maybe a bit of a bump or a collision or a tyre come off, and I was greatly disappointed. But everyone took Castle Corner, which is the main thing, so we're still holding out for an I Am Stupid award. McLaren getting very close to it there, which is Shu.
Yeah, Shu now. I mean, he's going to be given everything he has, isn't he? You reckon he was remarkably quick in quality? That is a yellow. That is for Klurp.
First retirement, and it's Klurp.
And that is that a safety car or a VSC? That is a safety car.
It's a. I don't think it is. I think it's a VSC.
No,
Personally, is it a full safety car?
Yeah, I looked for the board on the side. It is a full safety car. Which they're not going to be getting behind until the start of lap 3. There we go, another look at that Mercedes in the wall. Did not catch the perspective of that, if that was another driver involved, or if that was just a mistake by the Mercedes driver. That's a shame for Klurp so early on into the race, though the McLarens will be whooping and cheering now on their fresh tyres.
Fresh tyres at the back of the grid. All they got I was literally about to say all they got to do is keep their heads down and they can get back in this race, and that safety car may have just saved them.
Yeah, well, Shu not even one of the last 2 runners anymore. So they're all now going to be passing the stationary safety car. Where is it? There we go.
So a couple of the boys have come in for fresh tyres. Cole Paradox has, 4-star has, Freefall has, and Nick has as well. They've all decided to opt for fresh tyres.
Yeah, of course. If you're further down the order, then gives you a lot more to play with. You can get that mandatory tyre change out of the way nice and early.
The thing is though, apart from Cole Paradox, they've all gone for mediums. The question is, are they going to be able to make mediums last 23 laps? That's going to be yet to be seen.
Yeah, actually also Shu's in a very similar position as well, given he only really had 1 lap of pushing them before. But I guess it's get that tyre change out of the way, you can do whatever later. It's Baku, very high likelihood of there being yet another safety car.
I'm pretty sure Shu's also done his mandatory stops. I'm certain he started on mediums. He's now on hard, so if he looks after them tyres, he's not got to come back in at all for the remainder of this race.
Yes, what, we've got 13 drivers yet to pit. Having said that, Strauss, oh no, Strauss was looking at the pit, decided better of it. I don't think any of the boys will be pulling off into the pit lane. For now, track position matters to them more. Indian Jesus, no, he is pulling into the pit lane. So there we go, taking it nice and easy, not going too close to the walls.
And there we are, we've got the Aston Martin safety car, the third Aston Martin on the grid. To try and get some points with the safety car. Come on, safety car, bail us out. But while they are picking up, obviously, the grid, let's take a look at who's gained what and who's lost what. So the top 3 haven't gained or lost position. After all that, they've kept exactly where they are. Let's have a look at losing. Indian Jesus, coming into the pit then, has put himself down 10 positions. Shu has lost 9, and Tobes has lost 8. However, who's doing the best? Who's gained the most positions currently?
I think Waitsy Cole Paradox tie both up 6 positions, and that's despite Waitsy making a mistake actually that we saw. Because at one point he was in 5th position ahead of Hobbsy, and even challenging for that 3rd place battle with Steiny and Farrell. And then Cole Paradox, I think he's just kind of quietly moved up the order after his mistake in qualifying in that pit entry.
It's still early days though, it's only lap 4. It's a long way to go yet. There's still plenty of bumps, there's still plenty of bashes to go. And we love it.
Ah, of course. Bit of Baku, can't go wrong. We'll find out pretty soon if it is going to be a safety car in this lap. I'm not entirely sure where the line is, but usually it's just as you're heading towards the start of Sector 3.
I think we're going to have at least one more lap of safety car, just so while the back of the grid combines back up.
Yeah, there's slightly too much space, isn't there? So it seems it will be end of lap 5, leaving 21 laps of potential green flag racing to follow after.
It's been quite an interesting first few laps of this race, let's face it. There's been some drama already, there's been some yellow flags, we've had one person eat some... Safety car is in this lap!
Okay, I wasn't expecting that, I did not realise it was that far late. Yeah, I was thinking that. And I know it's always in the same place in every track, but I didn't know where Baku's kind of a thing for that was. So Tigriff then going to be controlling the attack. Strauss sitting just behind. He's got to time this right. You story about Steiny behind on the mediums.
I think he's trying to keep his tyres warm, considering that they are hards, so they probably will have cooled down during that safety car.
Yeah.
But he is picking up speed, and we're away racing once again.
And already Steiny is on the outside of Strauss, ready in turn 1. Farrell looking to make the most of any mistakes made by the two of them. Farrell has actually pulled alongside Steiny after Steiny has a very small moment. It seems Farrell up into P3. He's made that work. Contact with the Hobbsy behind the Alfa Romeo there, looking for something to work with. Not quite enough, as we see a small moment from the Haas in the background there. Ennis losing the position to Indian Jesus. A few changes further down. No spinners just yet, but all still very, very close together. Apart from T. Griff, he's just gone off into the distance.
He's gone again. He's got the pace, but there is a yellow flag, and I believe it's a McLaren, maybe. I'm not sure. It's a McLaren and a Ferrari. I believe it's Shoe and Freefall's had a bit of a bump.
Shoe and Freefall. Shoe, again, seemed to have no luck this race. Reckoned he had pace. We're waiting to see it. At the moment, just not able to get that clean air to make it work. You can be fast, but if you can't overtake anyone.
He's got 3-4 down there for company, so was that a bit of a bump for Ennis on Castle Corner there? Nothing to worry about too much, but it looked like he nearly picked up an eye on stupid.
I of course think a lot of the drivers content to just sit behind, wait to go for an overtake on the main straight. That is your best bet, although having said that, War Daddy mistake there. I think he must have clipped the ball on the exit. I am seeing both end plates on that Mercedes car. However, I'm also seeing him lose a load of positions. Now Indian Jesus, considering the move here.
Ooh,
hang on, what has happened here? Contact between them. 3 wide for a brief moment there as Ennis gets the both of them.
Ennis and Indian Jesus making contact then. Is anyone coming in for a pit?
War Daddy is. Maybe he did damage his front wing then.
Oh, and the Ferrari of Liam overshooting there, nearly in the wall, and he will have a bit of a flat spot on his tyre after that.
Yeah, losing a couple positions there to Ennis and Indian Jesus. Ennis really working his way up through the order now. Liam alongside Indian Jesus here. The two drivers, both some of the quicker ones here on this grid, but the AlphaTauri just holds it around the outside, nice and clean there. Beautifully defended.
The question is, between Ennis and Indian Jesus on that main straight, I mean, I only caught the back glimpse of it. I saw that there was a bit of contact, but was it an unfair gain of position? It's one for the stewards to look at.
No, I think Ennis went for the position and kind of got crowded out a little bit and just made sure he kept his own room there. It was a case of just a track wide enough for 3 cars, but I think some cars not aware that 3 cars were going to be there. So from the angle I did see, don't think anyone going to get into too much trouble for it.
Fair enough. Well, Tobes is slowly starting to gain position back in P15. He is now cleared from being towards the back. He's starting to make his way back up, and he's catching, to be fair. He's doing well.
Yeah, now, interestingly, Indian Jesus, one of the drivers who did pit earlier on the hards, has actually managed to work his way up the order now to P10. So looking very, very strong for him. Although possibly pushing the tyres a little bit too much if he does intend to make that stop.
And there's a yellow flag, and I believe it's 3-4. Sorry to interrupt there. He's had a bit of a spin because he is currently ghosted. I don't know if he's got damage or not, though.
It's an overtake for, say an overtake for third. Actually, a battle's still ongoing for third position here. Farrell and Steiny's mistake on the exit of turn 1 for Greek Bill further down the order. And with DRS now enabled, all the more overtakes expected to happen.
Cold Paradox is spun on turn 2 as well, and it's allowed Bill to get the position back. It's all kicking off at the back of the grid.
P3 battle still ongoing. A slight mistake by Farrell, giving Steiny a bit of room to work with. Still ongoing side by side with actually came there. In the end, Farrell has come out on top, though Farrell now to worry about Waitsy from behind. Waitsy backing out. See how the three of them manage. All going to be pressuring each other an awful lot here. Quite a late apex for Farrell there.
That corner's waiting, boys. It's waiting for you.
Looking for trouble, isn't it?
It just sits there biding its time, let's face it. It's like, which one of you is going to come have a piece of me?
Right, here we go. This is what I'm interested in, this P3 battle. Once the DRS kicks in here, who is going to get the best exit here? Waitsy, it seems. Or no, actually not the case. Steiny looking very strong yet to deploy his ERS, possibly not even thinking he'll need it. Very good through that flat chicane onto the big straight, the DRS zone. Now already miles quicker, and then DRS to add on top. And yeah, that's not even a question.
DRS
He's
off
through.
now, is it?
Yeah, DRS enabled. There's both drivers getting past Farrell. Farrell down 2 positions. Steiny, so much speed. He's actually had
there's a spin from Steiny.
Not a spin. He just went so deep. He was so much faster from the DRS, the slipstream. Did a bit of a.
I was on board with Griff for
moment.
a second, and then quickly jumped back to see him spinning around.
Yeah, I had a Hamilton magic moment there.
Oh, he was there. You were in the right place at the right time. War Daddy going fastest with 1 minute 43.8. Fastest point is awarded for those top 10 in CRL, so that is the same as actual F1. But points awarded all the way down to P12.
Yeah, 30 points for the win, down to 1 point for that P12 position. So more than half the grid available to get points. We'll see how much Baku ends up thinning down the herd of how many drivers end up finishing. How many drivers finished in Tier 4 for you?
13.
13, okay, so all but one got points.
All but one got points, and it was one of those moments where, because where he DNF'd and there was no lap cars, he DNF'd on the last lap and the other 12 finished. So, despite him being classified as 90%...
Hang on, Captain Nick, I think you just had an I'm stupid.
Is it an I'm stupid? Have we got one?
Very well might have.
He's still alive though, so...
But judging by where his car did end up stopped, I think Nick did have an I'm stupid moment. It's the first man to be claimed by the castle.
He doesn't appear to have damage though, unless it's minor. So he may have got away with it. He seems to be okay. I should be getting excited about an Aston Martin crashing into a castle corner, since I do act as the team principal in the Aston Martin chat, so...
There we go, we saw McConey getting past Farrell and Ennis getting past Hobbsy. Though can Hobbsy get a better exit? He can get a better exit, and I think now with the inside line... Ooh, contact!
Oh!
Now I think that is on Hobbsy. That is
One
a
for the
shame
stewards
for
after
him.
this, I think.
It's Liam now, sorry, Indian Jesus now on Ennis. And that, oh, hang on, yeah, that is a pile up and a half, and that is on Indian Jesus there. So Tobes and Four-Star as well getting caught up in that. That was a nice bit of chaos there, true traffic jam. Not great for some of the drivers.
Another reset from Indian Jesus as well. I don't know if you spotted that.
Yeah, I did. Actually, I forgot to. Have you stuck the first one in Steward's eye? Because I forgot to. What was it? Lap 9. Anyway, that battle still going on for P3. The same 3 people. Waitsy, McConey, Farrell keep swapping positions on the straight. Now, is he close enough to go for the move here? Currently 3 tenths back, 2.5 tenths, 2 tenths. DRS still yet to come into play. Waitsy not having it to defend, and that is a car flying past. Farrell watching the two up
McConey taking
ahead.
P3.
Yeah. Ooh, as Waitsy actually turns in a bit early there, compromises his exit an awful lot because of it. And back out of the turn, as Shu going up the inside of Liam. Liam going to get a better exit? No, not going to happen. McLaren driver holding that well.
Shu doing really well to get back up to P10. War Daddy setting another fastest lap, taking off about 400 for the second from the last time.
Yeah, I think, where is he currently? P16, just in a bit clean air. Able to work well with what he's got in terms of the track. Is Captain Nick pulling into the pit lane?
Did he have damage? That's the question. See if I can jump on board with him quickly. Can't see any wings, so I think it's just tyres.
Yeah, well, on to the soft tyre. Maybe hoping then for another safety car, but at the moment not happening too much. These three still battling away. McConey waits. Actually, Farrell is slightly falling off the back of these two. So the top two really making a run from the rest of the field. Tigriff, Strauss, 5 seconds down to McConey in P3, and these guys battling away, but actually battling at back you does not cost as much as it could on other tracks, as long as you just keep it to the main straight, kind of alternating with the DRS, taking it in turns, leading a lap. There, this exit of the corner, McConey going very deep in the end, but actually making it work as he gets a bit more exits. No, McConey round! And he's tagged McConey round. He did end up tagging Waitsy, but actually no, he tagged Farrell. McConey round and ended up tagging Farrell, and that's both of them. I saw front wings lost there.
I'll tell you what, who's the ultimate winner from that? Real DC moving up to P3.
Yeah.
Survives all of that.
Waitsy.
And claims the position.
Oh, that took out Waitsy, McConey and Farrell. That is such a shame. And that was just McConey's own mistake. He took himself out there.
Greek Bill has retired. What's happened to him?
That is a mistake in the last sector. Captain Nick now about to pass
he's
it.
at some war.
Yeah, his front
He's
right.
got some war.
And that is another full safety car.
Safety car. Though this could play into Nick's advantage. He's just come in for a set of tyres. He can jump back on a new set of mediums. And so long as he plays his cards right, be alright for the remainder of the race.
Who's my money on at the moment? Money is on Tigriff, the man currently leading the race.
My money's on Tigriff.
Yeah.
I've got even odds on Tigriff at the minute.
I mean, he's got to not mess up his strategy, but he's leading the race, he's on hards, which are going to be far more healthy than all the boys on mediums. He's still got a chance to pit under safety car. We'll see if he does end up doing so.
He's had a fantastic race so far as well, considering that he started on cold tyres due to him getting disqualified on the grid by not lining up properly. Had a fantastic exit out of turn 1 on the first lap, and he's just avoided all trouble in all the corners.
Yeah, although Strauss is keeping him pretty humble, keeping that gap to within 2 seconds. So it is at the moment, it's those two. I mean, Shu showing he's got some pace further down the order, working his way back up, but he does still have those places to pass for. Yeah, P6, and he doesn't technically have to pit. I don't think we'll see a Shu pit here, and if we do, it'll be him going on to mediums. I can't remember what he started on actually, but he's on the hards after a lap.
So long as he's changed his
pit.
compound, I think he started on mediums, didn't he? I think both the McLaren started on mediums.
So here we go, Tigriff staying out, Strauss into the pits. I think all the boys on mediums are going to be pitting, so it's basically just a case of will Liam pit? Although, oh no, they are coming to the pits. Anyone not? Liam is coming into the pits, so he's another one who started on the hard tyres.
I think a lot of the front runners now are going to be coming in. I think Griff's the only one which hasn't.
Yeah, Indian Jesus did not, although he had already pit. Now, interestingly, Shu also choosing to pit. Hang on, these two are battling under safety car, and they've had contact under safety car. Strauss and Indian Jesus.
Oh, who are we on board with?
Oh no!
Oh, there's a 5-second penalty.
That one's going to be looked at by the stewards. That was a non-ideal with a contact there. Came out the pit lane, fighting away for the position. I'm not sure. It was, I mean, someone went into a wall. Could be a bit of side pod damage, given the way they went into the wall. But
here we go. Everyone but Griff has been into the pit once.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think Griff is going for hard to soft approach.
Maybe, because with 2 safety cars, his tyres are going to have a lot less wear underneath them. It's becoming more and more possible. I think, it ends up being 2 laps behind the safety car, but of course there was also that entire lap where he kind of beat the safety car because of where it was deployed. Similar situation here with this one. I think something might be 3 laps behind the safety car. So with that number of laps extra that he does not have to push his tyres on, looking more and more likely.
The thing is with hards as well, if you treat them right, you get that second innings with them as well. The pack is starting to form up the front now, so Griff, Indian Jesus, Strauss, Cold Paradox is starting to catch up as well now, I believe. Real DC up to 5th. Let's take a look and have a look at who's gained what position again. So Griff obviously on pole and has stayed where he is. Indian Jesus now up to P2. Strauss has dropped the position down to P3. But Cold Paradox has picked up 15 positions from P19 and now sits in P4.
Yeah, I'm just actually now myself watching back that contact between Strauss and Cold Paradox under the safety car. And I've got to say...
Is it dirty?
It was... I wouldn't say dirty, but it's on Strauss. That 5 second isn't going anywhere. It was just a case of came out the pit side by side. I don't know if Strauss expected to keep the position, so actually I'm not truly sure. Maybe it is Strauss who should have been in P2, but he broke late for turn 2 anyway, on cold tyres, and kind of, I mean, almost just T-bones him into the wall.
One for the stewards to look at in tomorrow night's steward meeting for sure. But I believe the pack is pretty... no, it's not. Farrow, Nick and Freefall all pretty far behind.
Yeah, long way back.
So they'll be told to catch up pretty soon. So probably in maybe 2 more... Well, this lap and the next lap and the safety car which will come in at the end of next lap.
Yeah. A quick update on the reserves. The reserves currently sitting, what is it, P6? Oh no, sorry, she isn't in reserve. P7 and
P18.
P18. Sorry, I'm being blind. I keep forgetting who it is.
It's because Scott has obviously started off as full time. That's what it is.
It's because there's a third name. Like all the people have been changed. So it says here: Ennis Ferrari, Scott Ferrari, and Knight Haas. And Knight isn't here. Ennis is in a Haas, not a Ferrari. And that's all because Liam didn't check in as a full-time driver, and then could race, and then when the reserves had to last-minute cancel, and all sorts happened. So,
a bit of a shambles down in Tier 2, but then again, we do love a bit of drama. Or no one can figure out who's in what car.
Right, so if we do find out if the safety car will be coming in this lap, it'll be somewhere around about now, though I suspect 1 more lap. Hang on, is Farrell just put it in the wall? No, just going slow.
We'll find out here if it's going to come in.
No, I don't think so. Then it will be lap 14, end of lap 14, where the safety car comes back into the pit lane. So 12 laps under green.
Just over halfway now, and we've only had 2 DNFs. One, I am stupid, but a lot of debris.
Oh yeah, especially from McLaren as well. We saw 2 McLaren front wings go on lap 1. We've seen a bit of safety car contact between the Alfa Tauri and the Alfa Romeo. Seems a bit of an Italian civil war that for once does not involve Ferrari attacking Ferrari.
Still time yet, it's all part of the Ferrari master plan.
Ferrari master plan. Is Captain Nick going into the pits again? I guess
coming in for their mediums.
Yeah, reckons he's got enough time to just catch up with the pack, and to be fair, he's not wrong. But I guess with the safety car leading the pack, and Nick at the back, got an Aston Martin sandwich at the moment. DC though currently P5. What's he on? 2 lap hole.
Quite a big sandwich.
Tires.
Quite a few layers in that sandwich for an Aston Martin sandwich.
Quite an expensive sandwich as well.
Don't worry, we've got a safety car leading the pack for us, and it's an Aston Martin, so I'm classing that as P1. Only way I'm getting points so far.
DC very strong position. What is it for P5?
He's made up
14 points. So not looking too bad.
14 points. We need them 14 points. We've taken a bit of a dip over these last few weeks, but we are just under halfway in this season. Obviously, next round Portimao scores the halfway mark as we then go into break week before we continue back on 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, the longest.
The second half of the season.
CR's longest calendar thus far as well. 16
so there was
races.
no pre-season this year.
Oh yeah, I hadn't twigged that was the reason why.
Yeah, we didn't have a pre-season.
1 more round than last time. Cool. Extra race to commentate.
To be fair, the calendar's a pretty good one, although I think a lot of people were upset that Silverstone, obviously a lot of drivers' home Grand Prix in this league, isn't on the calendar, and we've just got confirmation that the safety car is in this lap, a bit earlier, because that was right on the corner.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Last time it was kind of halfway down the straight, but this time no. Plenty of time for Tigriff once again to choose when to restart it. This time Indian Jesus behind him and not Strauss after that little bit of contact. Into turn 2 behind the safety car.
This time by the looks of it. Tigriff going for a bit of a faster approach than from the last restart, so I reckon he's going to start any second now.
Yeah, a little bit
more speed.
So yeah, I agree. It's certainly a lot faster, or maybe not a lot faster, but it feels faster than the last restart. Indian Jesus right in his tail, and there we go. Back on the throttle. Indian Jesus not caught completely napping, but enough that Strauss is able to get a little bit of excess speed on him. Not going for the move already. Passes further down the order. Side by side for Waitsy and Hobbsy and a few others further down the order. Although Strauss has got Indian Jesus. Managed to miss that one. And has Cole Paradox actually. The two AlphaTauris swap in position. It's a small moment in there for Cole Paradox. All contact between the teammates.
Oh! You know, you were saying Ferrari to not crash into someone. Well, 3-4 and Tobes has just had a big contact down on turn 2.
That is 3 wide into turn 3, and that is, yeah, unsurprisingly a driver into the wall. Cole Paradox into the wall. Now 2 by 2 again. Cut back from DC, a little bit of contact there. Everything going wild. Hobbsy is also losing out massively from this. It seems he got led into the wall. The shoe up to P3. The front 2 runners miles ahead of everyone else now after all this chaos going on. So who is it? DC and Indian Jesus currently side by side. DC smartly backing out, though does have a car right behind him he has to watch out for. But it's the cattle section. You just hold your line and it's your position to keep until you get back. Oh, hang on, contact there.
Oh, there we go. We've got one.
Nah, that was not an Irish.
But it is an Aston Martin.
That was DC getting rear-ended. Oh, actually, I don't know if he clipped the wall or got rear-ended. It almost seemed as if Waitsy tapped him on the rear. I'm going to re-watch back the footage myself. Hop back on board with the battles running further on as 4-star past Indian Jesus. Yeah, I think that was contact between the two drivers watching that back.
It is a shame though, because DC has now dropped down to 17th because of that. He is missing one of his end plates.
Your Aston Martin teammates not looking too great there, but here we go. Tigriff and Strauss, the two drivers we've always seen up front, once again going at it. Into turn 1, not quite small enough
Strauss
gap.
With the 5-second penalty though, remember, so Tigriff will still be sitting there quite comfortably, not worrying too much at this moment in time.
Yeah, it's
shoot, out of nowhere, back up to P3.
Well, there was so much chaos and I guess he just managed to avoid it. I mean, I saw at one point, ended up 3 wide, I think, between Shu, Indian Jesus and Cole Paradox into turn 3. And I mean, unsurprisingly, one of them ended up in the wall because you go 3 wide into that corner. You don't go out the corner 3 wide. But yeah, it seems Shu, whether that's through aggression and just being in the right place at the right time, moving himself back up the order after not the best qualifying for what he was hoping for, and certainly not the best race start. I'm to pit immediately in lap 2 for that new front wing.
No, the McLaren boys obviously double stacking, which obviously threw them off a bit, but Shu proving that it's not got to his head, and he has kept his head down, and he is now on the podium as it stands.
Yeah, and especially as well with Strauss having that 5 second. That, in my personal opinion, probably isn't going anywhere. There was a bit of an
comes into pit.
Oh yeah, of course. Actually, I hadn't even considered that.
Yeah, if he comes into pit, he'll have that 5 seconds removed. If he doesn't, it will be added to his time at the end of the race. But it looks like he is trying to go for the move on Griff. He is hanging on to him. Could be in with some good battling here, because obviously this will also allow Shu to potentially join in with this battle as well. Let's have a look. Shu desperately trying to catch up, but it is between Strauss and Griff. DRS now enabled, which is going to come into play.
Yeah, here we go. And I think Tigriff must have really... Oh! Hang on.
Oh!
That's retirement! I slightly missed that because I was trying to hop on board. That is Strauss.
Strauss going in too aggressive, and Strauss pays the price.
Oh, hang on. We've got a spinner in the background. Farrell. William spinning in the background. Yellow flag, maybe a distraction there. Luckily kept his car... Well, kept his front wing out the wall. It certainly didn't keep his car out the wall. That is Strauss out the race after such a good start as well.
I know, but the thing is, I watched all that battle because I deliberately stayed on. And Strauss, in my opinion, is at fault. He went in too aggressive. contact with Griff, and because of that, Shu, at one point who was bottom of this pack, is now leading the Grand Prix.
Yeah, and well, T-Griff and what was it, Strauss around the outside. I actually did manage. I was trying to hop on board with the driver that was behind out of the two of them because they kept swapping. I hopped on board with the current with the P4 driver, so missed a lot of the contact. Got on board just to see the end of the DNF. But yeah, Shu now in a very strong position. I imagine neither driver from that going to be too happy. Both Strauss and T-Griff. So almost certainly one of them going to report it, but very interesting one either way. Not ideal from the two drivers who were looking potentially to bring home a 1-2 between the two of them.
It's going to be another, like I said earlier, another one for the stewards.
Yeah,
they're going to have an eventful evening tomorrow night.
So here we go. Battle for P9. DRS is it enabled yet? Yeah, it is now enabled.
Yeah, DRS is now back online.
Indian Jesus moving well out of the way, almost as if he didn't want to bother defending the position. War Daddy holding the inside, doesn't really need to. Michael Massey required. Yeah.
Still 8 or 9 laps left of this Grand Prix. It's still anyone's game at the moment. There's still plenty more shocks and surprises to come yet. Tell you what is still yet to come. Griff's pit stop. We've still not seen it.
You're right, and I'm not sure how long the softs will end up going for him, but he has now
given it a spin there in T3, turn 3. Yep.
Yes, Steiny really struggling last lap. We saw him fly down the order, actually run deep into turn 4. Had to do a little spin, get himself back onto the track. That was when he went in side by side. Can't remember which driver it was with, but needs to get back into the flow of things. You know, the order's been completely reshuffled after that bit of chaos, and given there's no safety car as well, they haven't been re-bunched up. Again, the two Haas drivers have swapped. Ennis taking P2 for the moment. Yeah, the question is, does T-Griff try and wait, hope there's another safety car he can pit under onto some soft tyres? Or at what point does he just bite the bullet, say, okay, I'm going on the softs now, let's be as fast as possible? Hang on.
I think that is the plan. Oh, who's this? Who've we lost?
Indian Jesus. I wouldn't say lost, but he's certainly gone for a little spin.
In this track, you've got to think that every car is DNF'd until you jump back on board with them.
T-Griff into the pit lane. We will have to hop on board.
So what's he going to go for?
See what tyres.
That looks like a set of mediums.
That is a set of mediums. Interesting. So we'll have to do, what's that, 8 laps on the mediums?
8 laps on mediums.
Coming out on track into P15, just behind that battle between Farrell and Indian Jesus after the mistake by Indian Jesus.
Well, Shu is coming up very shortly on the first of our back markers, which is Rio DC, who at one point was sitting P3.
Yeah, I've already forgotten what happened to him in all the chaos, but something did, I'm sure.
I think he came into pit. I think he got caught up in it, a bit of damage, and he had to pit, and unfortunately it cost him dearly.
Yeah, battle for P2 still going on. You know what, McConey and Waitsy are fighting again. It was McConey, Waitsy and Farrell. Oh, hang on, McConey going round there. Never mind, McConey not a battle anymore. It was McConey, Waitsy and Farrell who we saw fighting earlier, had that mistake on the main straight. It was McConey who ended up spinning out, tagging the other two drivers who actually have managed to work their way back up into positions. McConey going to have hot tyres. He's going to have to be careful here. 4-star right on his tail. Now what can 4-star do? He's going to have the DRS to work with. He's using his ERS nice and early. Hang on, has he passed him before the DRS detection zone?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know.
Neither of them are DRS. That's a neat trick.
Are we still under? No, the DRS is back on, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if they did it exactly the same time. It's like, okay, neither driver's ahead, neither driver gets DRS, because it was right at the line. I was wondering, as he passed him too soon, seems not the case as we have a yellow flag there.
I tell you what, the 4-star having a bit of a wobble.
Nick.
Captain Nick causing a yellow flag.
Yep, turn 1. T-Griff is
DRS is
pit.
definitely on.
T-Griff is pit again for a
T-Griff
fresh
pitted.
set of mediums and, more importantly, a fresh front wing.
Oh, has there been a bit of a bump?
That is a shame
What
for
a shame
Haas
for
driver.
T-Griff.
Such a dominant first portion of the race. Ooh.
Fortunately, though, his teammate Ennis is sitting up there in P2, keeping the dream alive for Haas.
Yeah, Ennis is reserving for this team, but of course still important for the championship standing results. Who's winning the constructors at the moment? Haas currently sitting P7, so they'll be happy to see a good result. As DC said in the fastest lap from down in P17.
I believe Ferrari are back on top, I think.
Yes, you are correct. Although it hasn't been updated since the Monday Tier 3-4 races, so I don't know how Ferrari managed in those two. But
I can't remember off the top of my head, unfortunately, otherwise I would give you a bit of an update. I've slept since then and I've worried quite a bit. All kind of blends into one. But yeah, it's just so that anyone at home that is watching for the constructors, obviously, Ferrari currently sit on top with 474, Alpine then on 469, and then Aston Martin in P3 with 452. That is as of the end of last week in the Netherlands. So Tier 3 and T4's points haven't been applied yet. They will get applied after all 4 tiers have raced today. Tier 1 ongoing at the moment and will finish after this race has concluded.
yeah, they've been qualifying at the moment. Ennis there, some very nice defending, holding it perfectly around the outside. We've seen a couple of mistakes by Indian Jesus, both the end of last lap and now at the start of this lap, not going well for AlphaTauri, currently P14-15. At the moment, both of them depend on the T-Griff, after him having to pit and then getting unlucky, losing his front wing, still choosing to stick with the mediums, not risking the softs.
Which he's waiting for that last late game safety car.
Yeah, I mean, it's all he can hope for now, isn't it? A long way adrift of the field. How far is he off the leader? 55 seconds. A long time, especially around a track like this.
Real DC will be sat there patiently waiting for that last late game safety car.
I wouldn't say patiently known DC, but yes.
It is such a shame. I mean, obviously, Aston Martin 17th. I mean, Nick's going to be picking up that important 1 point for us, though, so at least this point's coming our way.
And DC's currently got fastest lap, not that he will collect it unless he can work his way back into the top 10. But here we go for P2, Waitsy on Ennis, looking to go up the inside into turn 1. Using those medium tyres, going to be stronger than the hards for the moment. Up the inside, Waitsy trying to run him deep, does make it work. Actually going to compromise his exit an awful lot there, Liam, considering the move too far back. Can't really go for it, although he compromised his line more than he should have. He could have set up a move here down DRS zone.
Going on.
Yeah, there isn't it? 4 of them at the moment, Waitsy, Ennis, Liam and War Daddy. Sounded like a small lock-up there from Liam, not too much. Those medium tyres, every lap they go round and round. Ennis going to have more and more of an advantage on those hard tyres. There's a few sparks picking up from the Haas car. Indian Jesus pitting. Oh, interesting. T-Griff fastest lap. Indian Jesus pitting. Is that retirement? No, that is just going onto the soft tyres. That is a man who wants to hunt for the fastest lap.
I think he's decided to go, you know what, let's just get that fastest lap, stop any other team from grabbing points. Going back to the constructors table, AlphaTauri do currently sit at the bottom with 167 points as of the end of last week, so they'll be just desperate to stop other teams from getting that additional point, because every point does count.
Yeah, now different drivers kind of care different amounts. Some of them won't even consider the constructors, others, I know quite a lot of the constructors have their own little chats where some of the guys from higher tiers will help out those from lower, as Captain Nick has had a massive mistake there. Jumped on board with his car there as he's trying to spin it back around forward, turning it into a Beyblade. This Cole Paradox, is he going to get him? Don't quite think he's near enough. What have we got now? Just over 3 laps.
Say with the constructors, last year when I was racing for Ferrari, we lost out on the constructors by a grand total. I think it was 7 points between us and AlphaTauri. That was the end of season 7. It was, and we were really pushing for it because going into the last round, AlphaTauri and Ferrari were equal on points.
Sorry to interrupt the constructors thing. I think Ennis just went deep into turn 1, now down to P6, and the rest of them have all kind of spread out a little bit as well. I think Waitsy's able to kind of fly away a little bit. Hobbsy now actually the front of the runners on the hard tyres. Just on.
Steiny and Nick have both come in to pit.
Yeah, I suspect for Nick that's front wing damage. Aston Martin no longer picking up that 1 point.
Yeah.
Is anyone yet lapped? No.
No.
Still not quite.
DC is just surviving, but Shu is only 1, 2, 3 corners away from him. Just jumped on board with Shu now. He's got a massive gap between him and Waitsy, 11 seconds. From what started as what looked like to be a nightmare for Shu.
I mean, everyone was laughing when he said, "Oh yeah, I was on for 139.3."
Yeah,
and
look at him now.
Maybe he was. Maybe he was. There we go. Yeah, Tigriff way down in 13th. Got so unlucky there. Safety cars maybe not working in his favour. I don't know if it's traffic that got his front wing damaged or something else, but in the end, Tigriff miles down the order will be lucky to even pick up 1 point. Current things standing. The McLaren driver we saw had to pit end of lap 1 for a front wing.
Still 3 laps to try and get back into them points. Anything's possible. I believe he's got the fresher tyres as well, so could be on.
Cold Paradox hasn't had the best race either, so not impossible.
No, so don't count him out just yet. But it
would
is
just
a
be,
bit of a big gap.
Not the points he would have been hoping for either way, that is for sure. Be that 0
No,
or
going
1.
from leading this Grand Prix for what? It had to be at least 60% of this.
Oh yeah, easily.
You can just hear Gunter. If you listen, if you close your eyes.
Yeah.
Gene! There you go, you can hear him.
Getting ready to talk about some Viking comeback, and in the end, not gonna happen. Yep, here we go. Indian Jesus, as we said, he'll be hunting for the fastest lap. He's got the fastest lap.
Stopping the other teams from getting that point. If you can't have it, no one can.
Yeah. Well, that was the 2021 Hamilton Verstappen strategy, wasn't it? If you're going to win the race,
talk about that.
you're going to win the race. I'll have your fastest lap, and my teammate will have it.
Exactly. It was it's one for the history books, the 2021 season.
Yeah, be that for good, bad, or ugly.
It was a great season, though, to be fair, to sit and watch. It's just too bad it ended the way it did, but nonetheless, it was one of the best seasons to watch in a long time.
Oh, absolutely. So, hang on. I don't know if it's Waitley's setup, but he's pulling away despite the DRS that Liam has. I know, there we go. He's now closing in a little bit. It's running perhaps a slight bit deep. Yep, there we actually, yeah, losing a couple tenths through that corner. And again,
tell you what, War Daddy is on the war cry, and he is desperately trying to catch up to Liam. Is he going to try and grab that podium right at the end?
Liam at the moment doing a remarkable job of managing the tyre wear. So I can see they're ahead of him, Waitley running deep, not able to hang on. Oh, having said that, as a moment,
you say that.
Yeah, I was going to. But I was saying was Waitsy running deep through the corners, perhaps not coping with how much wear the tyres have, that extra loss of grip, where Liam wasn't having that same thing. But it seems not the case. As Liam making a mistake out the exit of the corner, perhaps exposing himself to a bit of risk.
Was that a bit of a cheeky corner cut there from the Red Bull with Waitsy?
I can get a warning or two near the end.
To be fair, it's been a very clean race, to be fair. We've only had, what, 1 penalty?
Penalty-wise, yes. I think stewarding-wise, they're going to have good fun.
Oh yeah, they're going to have good fun tomorrow night, but I think Strauss is the only one to actually get penalised with the contact with the safety car.
Which is certainly quite a peculiar incident there, because I always kind of I try not to ever make fun of the drivers, but I always take a subtle dig at them whenever they get corner cutting penalties under safety car, because then you've got a delta you can just chill behind. So just still get one.
Sorry to interrupt, but Real DC has called it a day. He has done 90% of the race. He will classify as finished, but he has called it a day, retiring with 1 lap to go.
Yeah, now Coney and Ennis side by side into the start of the final lap. Haas and Alpine. And the Alpine gets around the outside.
Sorry to interrupt once again, but Real DC, by the looks of it, has retired on track.
No, so he retired in the pit lane and then his AI left the pit lane.
Has it done the thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of out of his hands.
Oh, speaking of Aston Martin, it's getting worse. I literally, as I've got on board with Nick, I've just watched him plough into a wall.
I'm torn. Do I look at the second place battle, or do I watch Shu through the final part of the race?
You know what? Let's go and watch battle for P2, shall we? Because it's a battle from P2, P3, and P4 at this point.
Yeah, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes. Where have we seen that before?
Oh.
The gap's currently sitting around half a second. I will jump on board the Shu when the man gets to the line, but of course after a bad start for Shu, he's done a remarkable job. He's got to the point now where he's winning by such a large margin, we're not even watching him. Which,
no,
for better or worse, it's a happy position to be in.
Oh, he's going to be happy with that, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know, I'll hop on board with him as he weaves now towards the line, and as soon as he crosses the line,
this battle.
Jump back to the battle. As Liam, you can see the time gap there is closing down. There we go, a win
Ferrari
for
is
Shu.
Desperate.
He's using his ERS, he's using his DRS. I think he actually used his DRS too
He's
early.
going to get the overtake. Is he going to get it? He's got the overtake right at the end.
My goodness. Less than 2/10 separating those drivers there at the line in the end. Second through to fourth. And what an end for those three.
Liam must be kissing his steering wheel as he brings it back to par ferme. Waitsy, I can imagine, is fuming with that.
Yeah, War Daddy, that's a bit of a shame for him not able to pick anything up in the end. Hang on, T-Group has got a point in the end. We mentioned he would. It was not the win he was at one point looking for, but he has picked up 1 point come the end of the race. And I suspect there will be a few penalties that the stewards will apply post-race. Not that we'll know until tomorrow night. I usually reckon it's about 10 man-hours per stewarding meeting. It might end up being a bit more for this one.
I say I'm involved in the stewards' meetings with some of them.
Yeah, I'm similar. It's kind of some of them. I'm less involved than I used to be. I'm normally the tier 3 and T4 I'm there for, because Friday nights I normally am working. So hang on, I think is that Nick? Is that on track retirement? Oh, hang on,
Indian, what's going on there?
He just cut a corner and now he's gone and spun it. Oh no.
What a way to end your race.
Putting on a bit of a circus.
Come on, into the pit lane war. Come on, give the fans what they want. Ah, but no, he is coming into the pit lane though. He is going to finish the Grand Prix in the pit lane on lap 20. I think it's a 5-second time penalty right at the end for speeding the pit lane. That's what the fans want to see.
Right, there we go. What an end to the race. Liam picking up driver of the day from the game.
Oh, we need to get Waitsy and Liam in for certain.
Waitsy said he does want to join us for a post-race interview, so that's good news. Shu's agreed as well. Hopefully we can get Liam in. I'm sure we'll be absolutely ecstatic.
I don't think he stopped celebrating yet. I could just hear Christian Horner crying on the pit wall.
No, Michael, no. There we go. If you are good
got a bit of a photo.
If you can invite those three into the party, so we can have a chat with them about how their race went.
Yeah, let's let me find them. Hopefully they're still in the lobby at least when we get to the lobby page. We'll go from there. But yeah, just for confirmation that Shu does win the Grand Prix after an awful start. Liam right at the last second stealing it from Waitsy, who takes P3.
600ths.
It's nuts, but Waitsy just keeping War Daddy at bay by the looks of it, who was unable to get the pass as well. That was a great Grand Prix.
Oh yeah, and already Strauss has reported Tigriff for...
Oh, it's not over yet. There's more drama to come from the
interesting
Grand Prix, that's for sure.
Liam has declined the interview, as he said it's not a legit podium in his opinion.
What?
So I'm not sure what he thinks he did, but Liam not going to be joining us for the post-race interview. I didn't say anything too shady.
Okay. I didn't think that was great. I'd be bouncing on the seat, so...
Oh, I thought that. He certainly, that last overtake, he earned. But we'll try to get the other two in.
I'm just trying to invite them now, but it's not... Are you able to invite them from your end, bud? Because my PlayStation's not letting me.
Probably can. Will mean...
Obviously, if you do want to check out the One Boys after we've wrapped up interviews, go and show them some love. Best of the best. The top 20 drivers from CRL.
Well, by the reserves.
Well, yeah.
So, Waits and Shoot.
The reserves should have their own league. We should have a tier 5 reserve.
Yeah, they have actually, they've talked about it in a tier 1.5. Two people have joined the party now. We won't be able to hear them for 25 seconds because of my funky internet. But we'll soon speak to the race winner and the man who had P2 stolen right at the end, getting P3. Right, hang on. Can I yet hear the boys? Shu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Ah, hello. Well, congratulations on your win. Not sure how much you expected it after the start of the race, that lap one where you had to replace your front wing. But yeah, I mean, how did you find it, working your way back up through the field?
Yeah, the start was pretty annoying because I was way down, but some guys crashed in front of me. It wasn't a really good drive, but it's nice to win this.
Yeah, because when you went from P5 to P3, you had that 3 wide. I think it was with Shu and Tobes. Oh no, it was with the it was with Cole Paradox and Indian Jesus, the two AlphaTauris, which was a mental battle going on there. And I think you kind of that's where you really started to move up the order.
Yeah, the other guys made so many mistakes, so I just go for it, and it went well. It was a pretty nice overtake though.
Yeah, and then Waits, I've got to ask you, last second had that P2 taken away from you.
Yeah, just well, what can I say? I ran out of tyres at the end there. I knew I needed about half a second, maybe 6/10 coming onto the straight. I think my rears going into the last lap were like 78%. So I just kind of, I had to send it because the safety cars weren't that kind to me, to be honest. I knew if I'd pit like 3 laps after the last safety car, obviously I lose track position, and that's my race pretty much done. So I just have to try and ride it out. And Liam just managed to get me on the line then. I nearly got overtaken by, was it War Daddy, I think, in P4. So yeah, I was real close at the end. But yeah, it was an interesting race. We'll say that one. Great start after a horrible quali. I think I was like P5 after like 3 corners because of accidents that went on around me. But yeah, considering I'd only put about 15-20 minutes into this before tonight, I'll take that.
Yeah, not bad going given that. Because it was just was it 2 tenths between you, Liam, and War Daddy come the end.
Yeah, he couldn't get much closer if you tried, to be quite honest there.
Yeah, any clue why Liam reckons he didn't get a legit podium?
I have no idea. Not a clue.
Is that a potential P2 for you? But yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I felt I actually had that good a pace on the hards in the first stint. I was quietly confident I could have been challenging for the win there, and then unfortunately I think it was McConey binned it through the left-right sweepers going onto the main strip.
Yeah.
And obviously, going as quick as you are through there, I had nowhere to go. Smashed the front wing off. And just, yeah, that was kind of that. But I was happy to, happy to hang on at the end, regardless of how close it might have been. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the stewards' inquiries and stuff after the race. But for now, provisionally, yeah, a good race, and GG to P1, like 11 seconds gap at the end. So yeah, great comeback and a great finish that.
Yeah, had 12.1 gap to
that was
so
brilliant gap. Yep, fantastic,
what do you reckon?
Great effort.
Next week we've got we go to Portimao for a sprint race. So, Shu, do you reckon you can win another couple races there, or?
I'm rubbing my hands at the prospect of Portimao. I love that track.
Yay! More Portimao love.
Yep, give us some more Portimao. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's a bit more of a different circuit, obviously. It's a bit more open, a bit quicker, less technical. So I think you'll see some better racing, some better overtaking, and maybe some different strategy depending on what the weather is.
Wet Portimao is never fun.
Oh no, we don't want that. Yeah, anyone doing some rain dancing for Portimao needs their heads looking at.
It's fun from our perspective commentating, but yeah.
Oh yeah, it'd be great to commentate.
Maybe not so much for drivers.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, well, once again, congratulations to you guys. The Tier 1 race has just started. So I'm going to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you, drivers, for putting on the show. And we will see you next week in Portimao for the sprint race. But for now, until next week, that's goodbye from me, Rob.
That's goodbye from me as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. And like Jonathan just said, go show the Tier 1 boys some love. And yeah, buckle up for Portimao.
Ooh, someone just I'm stupid in Tier 1. They went for an overtake.
Oh, there we go. If you don't need a promo for T1, that's what you needed.
Right, but yeah, as I was saying, goodbye from us, and that'll be at the end of the stream.